This morning, we'll discuss lesson 153, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. And this is, in a sense, a sequel to lesson 135. If I defend myself, I'm attacked. What the ego loves to have us do, right, is to be defensive. When we are defensive, when we get defensive when somebody criticizes us or corrects us or is even mildly critical of something we've done, what we are really doing is we're saying, I'm a sinner, and I'm angry because somebody else is reminding me of my sin, and then I become defensive and I seek to protect myself. In other words, I seek to defend and protect my defenses. And as long as we do that, I continue to attack myself by seeing myself as a separated ego, seeing myself as a sinful, guilty, fearful ego, and by making the ego's error real, I will never recognize that the whole thing was a defense. Right from the beginning of choosing against the thought of atonement in our right minds, that reflects the only truth that there is, the truth of God, the truth of our undifferentiated unity as a child, a creation of perfect oneness. As the text says at one point, a oneness joined as one. But when we choose to differentiate itself of the ego and make that real, we then defend against that by making up a non-existent problem, which is our guilt, because guilt tells us we sinned, which never happened. And then we make guilt so horrendous that we have to escape from it into the world. And then we defend our body against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as Hamlet said. All the terrible things in the world that impinge on us, that impose on us, that cause us to be upset, cause our loved ones to be upset. And so we're continually defending ourselves against a non-existent problem. And then how could I be ever safe? Because the real problem is not my body. It's not the protection of my body. It's not all the various locks and keys that we erected in our world to protect us. Because the problem is the mind's decision for something that never happened, that doesn't exist. So how could I protect something that's not even there to protect? That's my strength. My strength is the strength of Christ that's in my right mind, or the memory of the strength of Christ that's in my right mind. Right at the end of the text, Jesus says we always choose between our weakness and the strength of Christ in us. The weakness that is ours is the ego. But it's a weakness that we then protect with the seeming show of strength. That's what the body is. That's what we think healthy bodies are. That's what we think anything in this world is. We think it's something that protects us so we would feel good about ourselves. We seek to protect our bodies. We seek to protect the bodies of our loved ones. We seek all kinds of medical attention to keep our body healthy and protected from disease. On the international arena, we try to protect our race, our religion, our country, our culture. And we wage wars continually to defend ourselves so that our bodies will be safe, our religious tenets will be safe, our culture will be safe, our bodies will be safe. And all that does is reinforce the ego's inherent weakness. It's a weakness because the ego is a thought that says there is something other than the strength of God. There is something other than the omnipotent creator. Omnipotent in the sense that there is no other power in the universe. But by choosing the weakness of the ego as our identity, we then seek to strengthen that by our various defenses. But when we are defenseless, we are saying there's nothing to defend because the ego is non-existent. So when you seemingly attack me, even though your motive may be to attack me, that is your ego. That is your ego's dream. That is your ego's belief in weakness. What does that have to do with me? It only has to do with me if my mind chooses to participate in your dream of attack, your dream of seeming strength. But when I meet your attack on me with defenselessness, I am saying you might attack my body, but you cannot attack my mind. And my mind is all-powerful. Therein lies my strength. Therein lies your strength. Now, this does not mean on the level of the world, the level of the body, that I don't defend myself in what the world would judge as defenses. It simply means whatever I may do that protects me and protects you from doing something for which you would pay a price, namely your own guilt, let alone what society might exact of you. What I'm really doing is I'm not calling attention to my behavior, the peace with which I react, the peace with which I quote-unquote defend myself. That peace is saying, nothing you can do can disrupt the peace of God that's in my mind. And that is my strength. And that is your strength. It's my defenselessness in the face of what appears to be attack that witnesses to you, to the world, and reinforces in myself the fact that my true strength is in my mind's power to choose the strength of God and to choose against the weakness of the ego. And it's my defenselessness, it's my peace, it's the love that I feel for you regardless of what you are doing. That's what demonstrates to you and to me once again that the strength of God is my reality, not the weakness of the ego.